Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to defy the laws of gravity in LEGO Fortnite using a build technique I've been toying around with for a while here, and I like to call this anti-gravity building. This technique is going to allow you to have free floating pieces that don't even need to be attached to absolutely anything, and it unlocks so many awesome possibilities and unique characteristics for the builds that you're going to be putting together from here on out. And whether you've been here before or you're brand new to the channel, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you end up enjoying this video. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to get into is the actual fundamentals of how this works. Many of the pieces in the game have what could be referred to as invisible hitboxes. These invisible attachment points really trick the game into believing that the pieces are connected when they're really not. And through my hours of testing and experimenting, I found that it's generally the pieces that have very unique characteristics such as odd angles, shapes, and details that work the best. To identify the invisible attachment points of pieces, you can see there is empty space between the stairs and the green outlines. Those are generally going to be areas where pieces can be connected without being attached. Okay, let's start the demonstration by using stairs. I found this one to be the easiest one to put together, so it's a great starting point. So all we need to do is we're going to connect another stair here, and we're going to place one down below it. Now, like I said before, the invisible hitboxes or attachment points, these stairs have a pretty large gap on it. So once you have a stair set directly below that, we're gonna go ahead and knock this one out. And what you'll find is these are registering as if they're actually attached. Now, it doesn't just work with winding stairs. Let me show you how this works on these other ones as well. So let's just attach these again. Let's drop one just below it over here on the side, and then let's break this out. And just like that, these stairs are thinking that they're together. And just to demonstrate one last time that it really doesn't matter what stairs you use, we're gonna use these as well and then knock this out. And just like that, the game truly believes that it's attached. But in order to keep these afloat, this piece has to remain, because if you knock it out, it's no longer got the attachment point and it's gonna basically come crashing down. And just like the stairs, railings and winding railings work the exact same. You just need to make sure that they're lined up directly underneath them. They have smaller invisible hitboxes, but you can see here, you break that out, that'll be floating there, and we'll break this one out. And just like that, we've got the winding stair railings floating too. And you might be saying to yourself, like, Haskins stacking stairs, what are we gonna do with that? Well, here's a cool idea of what you can actually do. You can create diamond shapes, you can flip them, you can do all types of stuff. You can create diamonds inside of diamonds, and you can even build and attach off of these things using different directional building techniques and whatnot. So I created this little eye kind of tunnel looking thing here. So just go crazy with this stuff. Now let's use some different pieces to demonstrate how I test how far you can actually push this. For this, we're gonna actually use some different rounded walls. We've got some from Lockie's Lighthouse and one from the Raven's Roost. So unlike the stairs on this wall, you can see that the invisible hitboxes are actually in front and behind the wall. And you can see here, you don't have to limit to just one piece. You can actually create some cool stacked rings floating, and the maximum distance on this, I believe, was like 18 nudges or something like that. So you can really come up with some cool, unique ideas out of these pieces. Speaking of unique, cool ideas, we can actually pair these with swivels and thrusters to do some wild stuff like this. Now, I don't really know what kind of purpose this serves in terms of survival. However, I definitely think it looks cool and might add something like this into my base. And another thing I want to mention, which is really cool, is that even though you have these single pieces floating, whenever you have them floating, you can start to build off of them. So for example, we're going to go ahead and grab like a light or something like that just to demonstrate. You can start to add pieces and it's not going to really ruin its invisible connection. So think of things like you could put pictures on the walls or like shelves or whatever you want to come up with, you can add to these pieces. And back to this example here, like this is showcasing that, you know, once you have the stairs floating, you can attach more stairs. You can even attach pieces on the back like this tunnel here. And again, you can see that it's really not attached to anything whatsoever. Okay, so now we're going to get into the more technical aspect of this using directional building and some very unique pieces. You can see over here, we've got some crazy stuff going on with these walls and these walls here. So let me explain how I was able to accomplish that. We'll start with these two roof pieces. This one on the right is from Durburger. This one on the left is very similar in nature, but this is from the log cabin set. So the thing about these pieces is there's actually the invisible connection has to be made from the tops of these pieces. So we're gonna use some directional building here, and let me show you how we're gonna do this. We're gonna take any like 2x2x12, and we're just gonna place it offset right behind it right here. Then from there, we're gonna grab a thin floor piece. We're gonna stack that right up on top of that corner. And then to flip the piece, we're actually gonna use a pressure plate here, and we're just gonna make sure it's out of the way of the piece here so you can see the alignment here. And then we'll take another corner and we're gonna put it down here, kind of at the bottom end. And we'll grab the exact same roof piece and we're just gonna aim it here at the black piece of that pressure plate. And then we're gonna nudge this thing back. Now you can see we're not making any contact with the piece below it. And then let's go ahead and clean up these pieces here. And then this is what it's attached to now, but watch, once we get rid of this, that piece is still there. So you can create these really cool shapes with these pieces, and you can basically stack different combinations and stuff. And just like I said earlier, you can go ahead and actually, you know, make connections without even having to interrupt the actual zero gravity going on between these. And then to make this even cooler, we can just put one here. Let's nudge that out of the way. And just like that, you've got these unique shapes and things like that. Here's another piece, and there's plenty like it that have unique characteristics, specifically the fact that it has like a straight up and down corner with this little angle here. Let me show you how these work. So we're gonna take a half wall to start, and we're gonna put this pretty close to it. And then any pieces that have like an opposing shape or something that you can get to hang over the edge there, there's a invisible connection point that's between this part and the top of this post. And so when you have pieces hanging over the edge there, you can make them float. And I'm gonna keep talking about this. Once you have pieces floating, you can add whatever you want on top of these pieces to create like unlimited amounts of combinations. And then let me show you over here some other stuff that works. It's all about the characteristics of the pieces as you've seen throughout this video. So roofs and stuff that has a little bit of an overhang here, you can also get close to that edge. Looks like we were a little bit too far away there. So if we get close enough to where that bump out is, say right here, this piece is now going to create that invisible connection. So mess with different combinations of pieces that have bump outs and angles and stuff like that, and you can really do some crazy stuff. Let's head back on over to the design I worked on using directional building and this technique. So here's a little bit of something that I messed around with using all of the techniques that I showed you in today's video. As you can see here, like we just saw, those little angled pieces, these are ones from, I think it's like the Town Hall Nightmare set. They're just slightly hanging over that edge and it's created the invisible connection. And then we've used directional building to flip pieces upside down. We're making that same connection up here above, and that's how I was able to knock out these central pillars that were originally holding these together. So those connection points are being made up at the top and the bottom, allowing you to come up with this really unique look. And one last time, not that you would put this here, but let's just drop a toilet there. You can add whatever pieces you want on there and just go crazy with it. This is just scratching the surface of all of the other pieces that are available out there that you can do this with. So I'm looking forward to see what you all come up with. And if you learned something new today, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Haskins is signing off. I will catch you all in the next one.